Hey everybody, we're here again. It's Ivy and Keisha.
What's up? Good evening, guys.
We're back for the Chat You and You show. This is the interactive wellness show, which means that you are one of the most important parts of this show. So, although we have a topic that we're talking about and things that we want to point out to you and share with you, we also want you to give your feedback, your questions, your comments to us. And the way you can do that is by posting your comments. If you click on the Q&A icon, and we'll see the questions right here on our screens and actually be able to share some of your questions and comments. And you can also use the applause feature to let us know what you like about the show as we go through our topics. So Keisha, what's going on with you? How's your week going so far?
My week has been going well. It's going pretty quick, I might add, but it's going well. Today it's Wednesday already. Have done a lot. My productivity level has been high this week, so I'm proud of myself actually. Got a
Oh,
lot of stuff done this week, so I am awesome. And tonight I am chewing on right now some lovely sweet red grapes, and that's only because I'll be eating my dinner, which is in the oven, when I get done. What about you?
well, as far as my week, it's been really good. This last week was a little more challenging. I definitely had challenges. I had car challenges and all that kind of stuff. But it's been better this week, and it's been pretty easy going. I have also been at high productivity level this week, getting a lot of stuff done. But not feeling like super, stressed out about it. Just kind of getting stuff done and getting deadlines knocked out, crossing things off that to-do list that we've talked about before. So I'm doing awesome. And my chew is, I've got strawberries over here. So I guess we're both doing fruit for the night.
Yeah.
And we're on two different time zones. So our dinner times sometimes are a little bit different. I had like my bigger dinner a little bit earlier, but this is my chew for the night as far as my sweet thing is my strawberries.
All right, all right. Those who are watching us live, why don't you tell us what you are chewing on tonight? See what kind of deliciousness you guys got going on.
Yeah, one thing I did want to say, like with what I noticed, I've started, not that you have to, but I've started eating more organic fruits. And they get bad so fast because I'm used to like the traditional fruits where you can put them in the refrigerator and they could be in there for forever. But organic fruit, no, you have to keep your
Oh,
eye on
wow.
it.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
used,
they'll go, because there's no preservatives and all that stuff in it, and they go soft and they ripen much faster.
what about those bags we see on TV? The ad thing on TV bags is supposed to keep your veggies and stuff
You know what? I don't have those, and I have never
fresh.
tried them.
Does you think that may work?
Yeah, I've never tried. I've heard of them, but I've never tried them. Now, if someone sees this video and you guys want to send it for me to try it out for a sample, sure. But no, I haven't tried it. But I guess that's a good idea because I mean, you can go through fruits really fast like that. You ready to get started?
I am ready. We're talking about food and fitness for the holidays. That's a big topic.
Yeah. So we came up with this because okay, the holidays can be. So I had to take a pause. Had to take a pause for that because it can be. Let's be honest, it can be really challenging managing our health and wellness goals when we get into the holidays because there's so many distractions, and we've talked about that in our past episodes about how the distractions can take us off course. And so we wanted to, this is a two-part series. This time we're talking about food and fitness. And definitely, as we talk, send in your questions or whatever you have going on that's your challenges with food and fitness. But one of the first things that I wanted to point out is, why, let's talk about why is food and fitness such a big challenge during the holidays? Like, why is this the time of year that we find it to be really hard to stay on track? What do you think, Keisha?
Okay, so here's my thought, because I'm one, I go through this every year, right? So what happens is we have two major holidays around the same time.
Yeah.
So most families do big things on those holidays. I know Thanksgiving is a huge holiday for a lot of people, where they're either, going to other people's houses, they're cooking big meals for their families. And
Yeah.
December is just another one of those times too, where some people may be off work, or they just have more time during that time frame to sit around. What do you do when you sit around? One of these. So that's a lot. And so what happens is our minds go in the space of, okay, well, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, there's three major holidays, right? Go ahead and make that
Right.
the new year. It's just we just clam it out. We just remove everything else from what we've done all year, and just call this that relaxed time, or the time to chill out, or I don't have to worry about too much. I already got enough stress with the holidays, my family and presents and whatever else we got going on. Then we let ourselves kind of go, or we don't keep up with what we've normally been doing. I think that's one of the reasons.
Yeah, I totally feel that. And another thing that for me is a big contributing factor is that, well, in this part of the world, like I'm on the East Coast, I'm in Maryland in the United States, so it's cold, and it's up north. So it's like it's cold, you're inside the house more. Like you said, you're not doing as much. It's darker. We have more dark hours. So you're not really out at the park and festivals and stuff as much. So, it's like we use food kind of for like entertainment too.
Good things. We like food, right?
Yeah, mainly. So another thing I think is that we use food as like a medication is for the best way to put it, because with the holidays comes, like you said, the stress of family, um, finances. If you are a person who's gifting and spending money and having all those things, and sometimes the anxiety of the finances, or being around, which we're going to talk about that on the next session, being around family, whatever emotions come with that. A lot of times we use food to kind of escape and medicate around those times of the year as well. Some of us who have maybe negative feelings around the loss of loved ones who are no longer here to celebrate, the holidays with us, or we may be separated from our family. I know when I lived in Atlanta for 7 years, I was separated from my family, and I almost never had Thanksgiving and Christmas with them. So, you can have those feelings going on, and it's like, oh, we kind of we try to fill that void with food.
Exactly. I totally agree. Exactly. Um, it's just one of those things. I think we are conditioned. That's another reason we are conditioned to slow down during the time frame. We are conditioned to see this time as no worries. Calm down. You don't have to be so on all the time as we might normally be any other time of the year.
Yeah.
That's another reason I think why we get into this mood of, and then that's why advertisers, as we're going to talk about this too, is why advertisers are so happy to get into our heads during this time of year. It's like, dude, okay, you need to go on a diet, you need to watch holidays. At this time of year, what are we seeing on social media and online and even on the news or what have you? Holiday diets, holiday meals, get right for the holidays. It's about this holiday dieting stuff that's happening, right? We'll talk about that probably, in another show as well. it all
Yeah.
goes together.
Yeah, definitely, and it's almost like leading us into this pattern of, okay, we get to Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it's like, oh, the commercials are gingerbread and cookies and baking and pies and eat and all that, and then as soon as we get through Christmas, it's like we have this guilt factor of, now, all right, make your New Year's resolutions to, with all of the things we just told you about eating. Okay, now change all of that and come to us. We're gonna help you get that straight. So it's almost like they're profiting on both sides of the conversation of getting you to eat and then making you feel guilty and then making you buy into this whole the diet culture. So,
It's a cycle, right?
oh yeah, definitely. So how can we get out of this cycle? Like, what are some of the things going into the holidays? And I see you guys submitting your questions and your comments. We're definitely gonna address Kia. Thank you so much for sending in your comments. But what are some of the things that we can do going into the holidays to help not continue this negative pattern and to go into this year, 2014, of the holidays, staying on top of our food and our fitness goals? What do you think, Keisha?
Huge question. That's what I think. One is know yourself. If
Mm-hmm.
you know that every year around this time you get into any of the stuff that we just recently talked about what happens during this time frame, if you know that that's you and you're worried gain so much weight during the holidays, or I'm not going to stay up on my fitness goals, or whatever it is, if you have that concern, that's good because one, you are aware of what's happening, what's
Mm-hmm.
going on in your head. So that's the first thing, right? So we got to get out of denial, lying
Yeah.
to ourselves. So that's the first thing. Be aware. Secondly, I would say it's the little things you can do to get yourself on that track. Even if you start veering off, you can kind of veer back in. It's not a problem. I know Ivy mentioned the word guilt earlier. Let's not get into guilt mode during this time. This is the worst time to be in guilt mode because we stay there forever and it takes a long time after January to get back out of guilt mode.
Yes.
So let's try not to go there. From the food side, here's one thing I will offer you guys. I will tell you this because this was me, and you may find yourself in the same story. If you do, raise your hand, though we can't see you. When we get ready to go to because Thanksgiving for me is bigger. Christmas and meals not really all that great, but Thanksgiving for me is bigger because we have so much food. And usually I'm the one house hopping because I don't do the cooking. What do I do? Jogging pants or the big girl pants. So you guys know what I mean by that, right? You go in the big t-shirt and your boots, and some big pants so that you can pig the heck out with no worries of your clothes not fitting or having to unbuckle, right? So this year I am going to try this and I challenge you to do the same thing. Okay, you listening? Don't wear the jogging pants. Wear your regular clothes. I'm not saying wear something tight or you can't eat. No, just wear something regular. Don't put on big clothes so that you can allow yourself to overeat. Eat until you're
Right.
satisfied.
Right. Right. I love that. Like that, those are some of the things that I had in mind also to share with you all. One of the biggest things, and this ties in with what you're saying, Keisha, is when you go to grandma's house or auntie's or whoever, friend's house that you're going to, or people are coming over your house, already have your goal in mind. Set your intentions. Let me take the word goal away because sometimes that implies, calorie counting or something like that. But set your intentions that you're going to be present, be in the moment during the festivities and or whatever it is that you're doing, and that you're not going to be consumed with the food. And that means not being consumed with, like you're saying, binging or overfeeding our bodies, and also not to be consumed with punishing or restricting ourselves. Either way, when we talk about health is about being loving and having that balance. And so our bodies tell us what we need, and our body sends us the signals. When you're hungry, eat, but eat knowing that you're feeding your body what it needs, not that you're there to medicate yourself, or you're there to undo all of your goals that you've had throughout the year, but you're there to enjoy the experience as a whole. Don't make everything about the food when you're going. Another thing that I was going to point out was, make sure that you make your intentions or your goal when you're going, make it practical and attainable. Like, don't go and say, unless this is something that you're really focused on. If you've already said, I'm not eating sugar for the rest of the year, continue with that. But if you've been eating regularly and then you said you go to the holiday party or the holiday events and it's like, when I get there, I'm not eating any sweets. If that hasn't been something that you've already been doing, don't pick Thanksgiving and Christmas to try to do that to yourself. Like, that's not even realistic. Continue with what you've been doing. If that's already a life practice where you've excluded, sugars or artificial foods or meats or whatever, continue in that. Like, set the intention that you're going to stay in that life goal. But don't make Thanksgiving or Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or any other gathering time the time that you're going to now all of a sudden set up these new goals when you go to these social events.
Exactly. We set ourselves up for failure big time if we do that.
Yeah. And it's like, and also, you're there to have a good time wherever you are, whatever you're doing. You're there to enjoy the festivities and enjoy the people. Nobody wants to be around someone who is at the table. I don't eat that. That's no good. Do you know how much that has? And nobody, you're like, don't be that person.
Thank you. I'm so glad you said that. Thank you.
Don't be that person, because healthy is not just what you put in your mouth. Healthy is not just exercise. Healthy is your interpersonal communications as well. It's your interpersonal relationships, what's going on with your families, how you're feeling emotionally and mentally. And so if you're there stressing over everything on your plate and you're stressing everybody else out at the event, it's not healthy, okay? Like, you can eat nothing but veggies and still be completely unhealthy because you're depriving yourself and you're stressing yourself out and you're stressing everyone else out at the event. So just keep that in mind.
If you guys didn't hear anything else, rewind, go back, and listen to what she just said. That was it. We can go. We're done. That's it. That's the perfect advice right now.
Thank you. It's all in love, and I do want to make sure we do address fitness, to stay on as far as your fitness goals. Of course, our schedule is going to be a little bit awkward traveling, or we're with other people. So again, don't be that person that is, the family is playing Taboo or Scrabble or something, and you're like, oh, I got to go do my cardio. Not that you can't be devoted and stay on track, but that's also a time where maybe you can include other people. Hey, guys, want to go for a walk with me? Or, hey, let's put on a dance video or something like that. Maybe you can include other people. Maybe you can take the kids that are there outside and play a game with them outside. Like, there's still ways that you can get your movement and your fitness in without being exclusive or antisocial to other people or practicing deprivation.
Exactly. I wholeheartedly agree. That's a good idea. Let's go out and make some snow angels, see who can make them really, really fast.
Yeah.
That'll get our legs. That's a good one. Oh, and I also want to mention, while I'm wearing mine, just really quickly, got my Jawbone Up 24 activity tracker. For those of you who are wearing one, that's another good way to, it would alert you and say, hey, have you gotten your steps in for the day? And that would alert you to say what Ivy had just mentioned, is saying, okay, family or anybody want to go out for a walk, kind of walk off our meal and come back and play some games or whatever it is. I can give you that nudge to stay on track too. So if you have an activity tracker, a fitness tracker, or what have you, and you haven't been wearing it, pop it back on, sync it back up so you can get back into the habit of doing so during the holidays. And if you do not have one, guess what? I got 2 of these babies to give away on the blog. So I want to briefly mention that, uncommonchick.com/jawbone. So if you want one of these, you can go ahead and put your entries in for the Jawbone Up 24, uncommonchick.com/jawbone. Ivy, did you get your entry in, or do you already have one?
I don't have one, but now that you said that, I was sitting here thinking, I will be going there after this, so I can put in my entry.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's something I would love to have something like that. Yes.
Yeah, I am enjoying mine. It's helping me get more sleep. It's really helping me. It's like when you have something like an accountability partner, those always work. So that's another thing we can throw in there too during the holidays is to get you an accountability partner, either somebody you've already been working with, or maybe it's a family member. You guys are going to be at the same events or things like that. You can say, hey, okay, we're going to be each other's accountability partner throughout the holidays and keep each other on track. But this is just another way to do that because, again, if I'm sitting still for an hour, it'll vibrate and be like, oh, you need to get up. Or I haven't had enough steps for the day. Oh, your goal was this, you didn't do it. So those types of things, anything you can do, anything you can do to help keep you on track, I think is just added gravy. Added
That's
gravy.
awesome. Yeah, I love that. I need one of those. Yes, I'll be going to the website after that. So guys, I definitely want to get to your questions. One thing I want to point out is that the aftermath, right? We talked about guilt a little bit earlier. After you set your intentions, you set your goals, you decided you're going to be present in the moment during the holidays, you're not going to be over stressed out about overeating or undereating or regulating everybody else's eating or missing out on your fitness or all of that. After all of the events, go back and make sure that you have some quiet time with yourself and reflect on what happened over the holidays and even like what Keisha's saying about what you did and didn't do as far as moving your body and all of that. Not to punish yourself, but to make sure that you reflect on how well you did, the things you might want to change next year, because right after that we're sliding into the new year, and that's the time when a lot of us are in the mindset of setting our resolutions for the year ahead. So be sure to take some time to just sit down and think about, okay, how did I do with eating, or if there were things that you wanted to change, why do you want to change them? About maybe your eating behaviors or your fitness behaviors, or even how you interacted with other people or emotions that came up for you around the holidays. A lot of times that's another part of health, is that we don't take the time to sit down and be in a state of mindfulness and be present with what's going on. So are you ready to talk about some of these questions? We got some good stuff rolling over here on this.
Yes, bring it on.
So I saw earlier, I think we can share this with you all. Hold on just a second. This should show up. Okay. Kia Coward says, hey guys, you guys should see this on the screen. Hey guys, I've moved from eating meat to no meat, and I'm finding that my new comfort food is items with cheese. Do you have any suggestions on how to curb that desire? Well, Kia, I too am a recovering cheese addict, so
You made me choke. I'm still an addict.
oh my gosh, that's why I said recovering. But I know one thing that I think you and I have even discussed, and I even know from training, is that a lot of times it's about the nutrients in our bodies that causes most cravings are coming from something that's lacking, whether it be actual physical things, or sometimes it could be emotional or mental things that are going on that make us crave. But it's usually from something that's lacking. So what I would say is to start with, if you're able to find out like your nutrients in your body, if you're low in any particular nutrients that could be causing you to have cravings. A lot of times, if I don't know what you're taking as far as like multivitamins or supplements or anything like that, but a lot of times if we are getting a sufficient amount of nutrients in our body, we'll find that the cravings will subside. So that could be a suggestion for you as well. And then it also sounds like maybe you're getting your fats and proteins from the cheese. So, you could also use, if you don't want to eat cheese, which, cheese is not necessarily a bad thing, especially if it's 100% natural cheese and it's eaten in moderation, it can be healthy for you. But if you want to exclude the cheese, there are other vegetable substitutes where you can get your protein, like kale, spinach. Those things are very high in protein, and maybe you can increase those things in your diet, and you'll find that you'll lessen the craving for cheese. One thing that's really good is that when we're trying to exclude something, add something in first. So start adding in more spinach or more kale or more high protein vegetables, instead of trying to throw out the cheese first. It's easier if we add in before we take away. So try that out. Send us a comment. Let us know how that went for you.
Awesome. I agree. If cheese is not a big problem, then yes, just bring more stuff in, and you'll eventually find yourself not eating as much cheese. If it is a problem, or you find that it's causing different things within your body, but you still love cheese, let's talk. That's another discussion.
Mm-hmm. And you can always contact, both Keisha and I are wellness coaches, so you can always contact us personally, and we can, support you even further in that, as far as actually putting together some menu options for you. You can do that if you don't find that you're making progress. The next comment comes from Lana. Hi, Lana. She says that she loves the definition of health. Health equals loving your body. So that's awesome. I like that. We also have another question from Kia. Yeah. Can you see this, Keisha?
No.
Okay, I'll
But
read
go
it.
ahead. Okay.
She says, I saw the movie Forks Over Knives, good movie, and I became like on edge. Went out and purchased the cookbook, but those recipes are kind of insane. I want to achieve a healthy vegetarian eating habit, but I have not found balance. And then we lost a little bit of her comment, but she was saying that she knows I was vegetarian for a while. So I'm assuming that what you're saying, Kia, is that you do want to find some healthy vegetarian recipes, but you're thinking that the ones that you saw in those cookbooks were just like way too way too intense, which they can be. One big thing is that the internet is full of recipe resources, especially Pinterest. Pinterest is your friend when it comes to finding recipes. Like, go on Pinterest and put in easy vegetarian, and you will find like a wealth of recipes there that will be much easier for you. One thing about starting a new way of eating or a new eating plan is that a lot of times if we make it too complicated, we won't stick with it. And that's why we fall off, because a lot of times we go to the extreme with it. What do you think, Keisha? Can you hear me?
Okay, now I hear you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was saying, what do you think about a lot of times we get distracted with trying a new way of eating because we
Oh, I think we froze there for a second. But okay, I know what you were saying in just. So yes, I agree with you that don't try to do too much at once, because it can take us off our eyes off the prize, right? So
Yeah.
a little bit at a time, try the easier things first, get yourself into a groove, and build on from there. And doing different things. Also, here's one more thing I would suggest because I did this too. Go to different vegetarian or vegan restaurants in your area and try different meals and see what you like, and then try to replicate them at home. So that's another thing that I did because I didn't really know where to start, how to cook different meals or anything. So I just went out and just paid somebody else to cook them for me.
Mhm. Mhm.
Tried it that way. Maybe that's another thing.
And another suggestion I know that I learned is that keep your ingredients like to no more than four ingredients. When you first start out, like don't make it too complicated. And again, you can check on the internet, check on Pinterest. If you need further support, definitely reach out to me or reach out to Keisha. Um, I can definitely help you with that, putting together some things as far as like vegetarian options, because it does not have to be complicated. A lot of times those cookbooks make it, those are for people who like really want to get into the more intense what cooking, or maybe who want to, like you say, they have a restaurant or things like that. But for everyday cooking, we can get everything we need with a few simple ingredients. Like it really can be easy, and you don't want to make it too hard to where you're defeating yourself before you even get started.
And I want to give a shout out to our boy Mark Applewhite. He is in the comment section. So if anybody wants to connect with him, he was full vegan for a while. So he
Awesome.
has a lot of insight as well into this. So you can connect with Mark. He says that she wants something, going back to our earlier question, to recreate the fullness that meat gave. And yeah, that he really cheese the same way. So yes, thanks Mark for pointing that out. And get with Mark, guys. It's another resource as well.
Yeah, and we're going a little bit over, but we have some more questions if you don't mind, Keisha,
Sure.
with us addressing those. And guys, this just to let you know, where our show right now is 30 minutes, but we if you all are really loving the show and you'd love to see it for an hour, we can definitely expand it. We wanted to give you all a test run of what the show is like and not make it too long at first, but we can definitely make this an hour show where you can submit some more questions and we can have more conversation around it. I see Lana sent in a question where she says, do you ladies have book recommendations to help navigate the holiday craziness, or what are your favorite whole body, whole body health books? So, for me, like as far as cookbooks, I can definitely post a list for you, Lana, tomorrow that you can have access to that. As far as like body books, one of my favorite ones, and this can be for men or women, but Women, Food, and God is like really awesome for people who are navigating their relationship with food and their bodies. And I really found that helpful in helping us understand like why we look at food the way we do and why we have certain emotions around food, such as like guilt or shame or repression. That's a really great book. But yeah, I can definitely post some more suggestions tomorrow. I have a list that I can share with you, Lana. Do you have any, Keisha, that come off the top of your head?
I don't off the top of my head. I do have some bookmarks, so we can for Lana and anyone else who's interested in looking at what we've thought about as far as what can help people during this time frame. I
Because
will
I
also
have.
add this. I'm sorry. I will also add this, Lana, too. You can have all the books in the world, you can have all the resources in the world, but the one thing I really want you to understand and pay attention to is your body itself. It talks to us
Yes.
all the time. We we just
Yes.
have to listen, right? So pay attention to your body. Yes, you can have those guys with the resources and things, but just pay attention. If we listen to it, it'll tell us exactly what it needs. But we have to be trained, and it takes a process, right? To be trained into learning to listen to our bodies.
Yes.
They are your best resource.
Yes. Wave my hand on that.
Do I see some shouting over there?
Yes, because it's like yes, because each of us, each of our bodies are different, and what works for Keisha does not work for Ivy all the time. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But even if maybe it's the same food, it might not be the same way, it might not be the same portion, you know. So you do have to learn your body, and that's one of the things that sometimes we don't want to take the time to do because it requires us to invest some time and to be patient with ourselves.
And it's a lot more
Love
work than
that,
reading a
Keisha.
book.
One, well, we're going to go ahead. I see more questions, but if you guys have more questions, go ahead, keep sending them in, and we'll continue the dialogue on in the Google Hangout on that page. We can definitely continue the dialogue there and answer some more questions. That's a great place to put it. You can also email us your questions to chatchewingyou@gmail.com, and we can definitely get back to you there if you have more private topics that you want to talk about that you want to submit privately. And then you can, if you go to Chat Chew and You, which is YOU, Chat Chew and You, the website should be showing up for you all right now where you can access it. You can get the link to Keisha's website and to my website, and that way you can contact each of us individually if you'd like to work with us further or get any further support. Anything, Keisha, you want to say before we leave?
Do you, boost? In the end, just do you and have fun. This is the holiday season. Let's have fun. That's it.
Yeah, definitely. Don't make it too difficult, guys. That's my closing out thing. Remember, it's about love and loving your body. It's a challenge. It's work. Yes. But it doesn't have to be something that you stress yourself out with. Be patient with yourself. Be loving with yourself. Understand that this is 1 year, one holiday season. You know, if you should be blessed to continue to next year, then you still have a whole journey ahead of you. You've got February, March, April, May, all these other months that are coming up. Other things are going to come up. Don't get overstressed over one event or 1 or 2 months to where you're missing out on the entire point of being around your friends and family and enjoying the festivities. Thank you guys so much for watching us. Come join us on the Google Hangout page, and we'll talk with you all further. Thanks so much.
Kudos.